Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Green, and today I'm going to talk to you about your first day on Zoom. Now, I'm not saying this is perfect, but this is just some ideas that I have for you guys on what you might want to add on your first day of Zoom. So, number one, try to on Teacher Be Teacher or other sites, they have a lot of cards. You can even make your own. I recommend getting some of those, especially if you have younger kids. Teaching kids how to mute and unmute. Those are super important things. I know in the settings you're able to mute and unmute, but you need to teach them like, hey, when you raise your hand and I call on you, go ahead and unmute, and then when you're done, mute yourself back. So, and I recommend that you do it for every kid. You call on every single kid the first day, and this is why. Not because you want your Zoom meeting to be like super long, but because you need to check and see, does every kid's device work? So, for example, I had a student today, there was a first Zoom today, and he was way back here, and he was talking on his Zoom, and I couldn't hear him. So I was like, speak louder. And he's like, I am speaking louder. But because his hardware is different, you have to be like right here by the screen for it to hear, because his mic. So people's computers are different. Some computers you can hear from way over here. Some you have to be like super close. So checking out the kids' hardware, making sure that they can talk into it. Also, maybe they have headphones. If they have headphones, then you have to check and see, is that mic enabled? Is it not enabled? You might actually have to call that kid individually and say, hey, you know what? Just unplug it for right now. We'll fix it later, you know? I'll do a Zoom with just you later where we can fix that microphone, okay? So maybe they just have to unplug that headphone today because it's not working. So, but if they do have headphones, it might be one of the ones that hang from the cord, and they can just put it closer to their mouth so you can hear them. There's a lot to just volume, okay? So these two cards are super important. Video is not super important, but, you know, sometimes they need to turn it on and off. Like if they need to go to the restroom. If they need to go to the restroom, should you leave it on? I don't think so, you know. And not only that, but they should probably do these two cards when they go to the restroom. Turn it off and also mute it. Because if you just mute it, somebody might be walking by not knowing the computer is on, and that could cause a problem. So, restroom, okay? Also, we got to keep these kids engaged. They're sitting on a Zoom for a long time. So you got to keep them engaged. That means a lot of movement, also a lot of movement on their end. So when you ask a question, you should ask it a couple times. You say, so boys and girls, what are we going to do? Even though you can't hear them, they're still saying it. What are we going to do? That's right. We're going to do math today. What kind of math? That's right. Adding and subtracting. Have that kind of stuff so that way they're engaged. Also, hand signals. So when you need to call a student, you'll raise your hand, and then don't forget, once I call on you, unmute. Okay? And then thumbs up, thumbs down. So you could even say, so if you agree with Matthew, put your thumb up. He got 5. If you don't agree with Matthew, thumb down. And then that way you can kind of judge. That way they're interacting. Use whiteboards. You could use a whiteboard. Having write on the whiteboard, that's great. And lastly, also don't forget that the kids need to move around. So you might have to have some breaks throughout the day. Okay, so maybe just have a Zoom for a little bit, come back, and unZoom. But yeah, like your first day is going to be a lot of just teaching it. Make sure whatever you're teaching that day is something they can all do. I know it's going to be easy today, boys and girls, but we're more practicing this than we are practicing the math. Don't just start getting into quadratic equations on the very first day. Get into, let's say we're going to be counting dots today. And it's a first grade. You guys are in first grade, you should know how to count to 5. But we're practicing this, not this today. Later on, we'll be practicing this. All right. I hope you guys enjoy your very first Zoom. I hope this video helps you. I just watched one today, and there was little things like that. We need to make sure we're teaching the procedures just like you would do your very first day of school. All right, boys and girls. Thank you, guys.